It feels so cozy and festive. I love it. I've got my hot chocolate, I've got the tree, I've got a Christmas cushion, I'm wearing a Christmas jumper. Let's do this. Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking to you about my Christmas reads. So this video is going to be split into two. The first part is going to be all about Christmas books that I have read, really enjoyed and want to share with you. And the second part is about Christmas books that I own but haven't read yet but really want to try and read this holiday season. So first I need to put my hot chocolate down because I can't hold books up whilst holding this. So let's get started with the Christmas books that I have read. The first book that I want to show you is actually my favourite Christmas book and is part of a series, and that is Miracle on Fifth Avenue by Sarah Morgan. This is the third book in a series, and here are the other two books in the series. You have Sleepless in Manhattan, which is book 1, and Sunset in Central Park, which is book 2. I really wanted to read this one last year because it is set in New York and I spent Christmas in New York last year. I wanted to take this with me and read it while I was there. You probably could get away without reading these two first and just reading this one, but all three of these books are about a group of 3 friends and each book focuses on each friend. So when I bought this book back in November last year, I then had to really quickly order these ones and read them as fast as I could so that I could take this one with me. I was actually still reading this one on the plane when we were on our way to New York. So I finished this one on the way to New York and then I read this one for a little bit of that plane journey and then while we were in New York as well. I love that I can say that I read a Christmas book that is set in New York whilst being in New York at Christmas. Rather than me waffling on about each of these books and trying to tell you what they're about, I'm just going to read the back for you. Sometimes love needs a Christmas miracle. Hopeless romantic Eva Jordan loves everything about Christmas, even if she's spending it alone, house-sitting a spectacular Fifth Avenue apartment. What she doesn't expect is to find the penthouse still occupied by its gorgeous and mysterious owner. Best-selling crime writer Lucas Blade is having the nightmare before Christmas. With a deadline and the anniversary of his wife's death looming, he's isolated himself with only his grief for company. But when the blizzard of the century leaves Eva snowbound in his apartment, Lucas starts to open up to the magic she brings. This Christmas is Lucas finally ready to trust that happily ever afters do exist. So like I said, you don't have to have read these two books to read this one, it's just that some of the couples that get set up in this book are also included in this one. But I definitely recommend this book, I absolutely love it and I'm hoping that I'll get to reread it again this Christmas if I have time. My next favourite Christmas book is one by my favourite author and that is Cecilia Aherne's The Gift. If you could wish for one gift this Christmas, what would it be? Lou Suffern wishes he could be in 2 places at once. His constant battle with the clock is a sensitive issue with his wife and family. Gabe is the homeless man who sits outside Lou's office. When Lou invites Gabe into the building and into his life, Lou's world is changed beyond all measure. An enchanting and thoughtful Christmas story that speaks to all of us about the value of time and what is truly important in life. I've read this book 2, maybe 3 times since I got it and I absolutely love it. It's actually just been re-released as well, so you should be able to find it in all good bookstores now. It now has a dark blue cover, I believe. But definitely recommend it, it's just a really lovely story. Another favourite is one from last year's Zoella Book Club, and that is The 12 Days of Dash and Lily. Dash and Lily have been dating for nearly a year, but when Lily's beloved grandfather falls ill, the repercussions take their toll on everyone. Even though they are still together, somehow the magic has gone out of their relationship and it's clear that Lily has fallen out of love with life. Action must be taken. Dash teams up with Lily's brother and a host of their friends determined to get Lily's groove back in time for Christmas. I just think this book is a really cosy Christmas read. It's also not very long either, so it's quite a quick read as well. I definitely want to try and find time to reread this one this Christmas because, as I said, it's quite a quick read and I just love this book. The next book on my list is Something from Tiffany's by Melissa Hill. My mum bought me this book about 4 or maybe even 5 years ago one Christmas, and I read it that Christmas and I haven't picked it up since, and I know that I absolutely loved it, but I actually can't remember much about it, so I do want to try and reread this again at some point, but I will tell you a little bit more about it anyway. Doesn't every girl dream of getting something from Tiffany's? It's Christmas Eve and on Fifth Avenue in New York City, 2 very different men are shopping for gifts for the women they love. Gary is buying his girlfriend Rachel a charm bracelet, partly to thank her for paying for their holiday of a lifetime to New York, but mainly because he's left his Christmas shopping far too late. Whereas Ethan's looking for something a little more special, an engagement ring for the first woman to have made him happy since he lost the love of his life. But when the 2 men's shopping bags get confused and Rachel somehow ends up with Ethan's ring, the couple's lives become intertwined. And as Ethan tries to reunite the ring with the woman it was actually intended for, he finds it trickier than expected. Does fate have other ideas for the couples, or is there simply a bit of Tiffany's magic in the air? Bits and pieces of this book came back to me as I read that, and I just remember really enjoying it. I feel like this was quite a cosy, cheesy Christmas read, but I just love things like this, especially being set in New York again. I love Christmas books in New York. The final book I want to share with you isn't actually a novel, it is this book, which is Tanya's Christmas by Tanya Burr. This is just a really good celebration book with a little bit of everything. This book is actually signed as well. So I have this exclusive signed edition that I ordered from WH Smith. It's just a lovely book, and like I say, it really has got a little bit of everything in here. It's got some stuff about Tanya's Christmases when she was a child. It's also got suggestions in here for things to do or places to go. A lot of them are in London because that's where she lives, so it's such as Winter Wonderland in Hyde Park. It's got lists of Christmas movies for movie nights. I love that picture. Tanya Burr reading A Christmas Carol. It's also got some really lovely recipes as well. So this is a hazelnut hot chocolate that you can make with Nutella. I actually did that last year. DIY advent calendars, there's just recipes, there's crafts, there's little tales from Christmas, there's just lovely things in here, and I really enjoy this book. Just as I went to start the second part of this video, I remembered another book that I've actually read this year, but it was sent to me through NetGalley, so it was on my Kindle, so because it wasn't a physical book in front of me, I almost forgot it. That book was Kiss Me in New York by Catherine Ryder, and I'll just read the description for you off of my phone. It's Christmas Eve at JFK in NYC. Charlotte is a British student waiting for her flight home after the worst semester of her life. Anthony is a native New Yorker surprising his girlfriend at the airport after 3 months apart. Charlotte has just been dumped and Anthony is about to be dumped, right in the middle of the holiday crowd. Charlotte's flight is cancelled when a blizzard blows in and Anthony can't bear to go home. So they set out into the city together, clutching a book Charlotte picks up from the airport gift shop. 10 Easy Steps for Getting Over Your Ex. For this one night they'll focus on healing their broken hearts together. Step by step the two struggle to put the past behind them. But the snow is so enchanting and the holiday lights are so beguiling that soon their shared misery gives way for something else. Soon they are not only over their exes, they're falling for each other. Then a subway ride splits them up by mistake. Will they reunite before Charlotte's flight leaves New York? I really enjoyed this story, even though I read it back in October, so I wasn't really in the mood for Christmassy stuff. This really helped to get me into the holiday spirit, and I would definitely read it again. I just loved the characters, I really connected with them, and again it was set in New York, so that was another bonus. So now let's get on to the books that I want to try and read. So the first one is a book that was bought for me by my husband earlier this year, and this is Every Time a Bell Rings. Belle has taken all the Christmas decorations down. This year they won't be celebrating. As foster parents, Belle and Jim have loved all the children as if they were their own. They shouldn't have favourites, but little Lauren touched their hearts, and when her mother comes to take her back, Belle can't bear the loss. Then one icy December night, after an argument about Lauren, Jim crashes their car and Belle blames herself. Everything she loves is lost, and she finds herself standing on the Halfpenny Bridge wishing she had never been born. But what happens to a Christmas wish when an angel is listening? Will Belle realise that her life is the most wonderful life of all? I love that this book is set in Dublin because I've actually been there and I've walked across the Halfpenny Bridge before, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. The next book is Christmas at Lilac Cottage by Holly Martin, and I've had this book for almost a year now. I believe I was sent this back in February or March by Readers First, but because it wasn't the time to read Christmas books then, it has just sat on my shelf until now. Penny Meadows loves her cosy cottage with its stunning views over the snow-topped town of Whitecliff Bay, but not even the roaring log fire can keep her heart from feeling frozen. That is until dashing Henry and his daughter Daisy arrive for the festive season, and between decking the halls and baking delicious mince pies, Penny realises there is more to Henry than meets the eye. With sleigh bells ringing and fairy lights twinkling, the Christmas Eve ball is in full swing. Will Penny be able to melt the ice and allow love into her heart? And will she finally have the perfect Christmas she's been dreaming of? I've heard a lot of really good things about this book. I've got a couple of friends who have actually already read it and told me how good it is, so I really can't wait to read this one. The next 3 books were bought for me by my husband only a week ago, and again, can't wait to read some of these. I'm especially excited for Christmas at the Little Wedding Shop. I also have Angels at Christmas and Last Christmas. So I'll read the back of Christmas at the Little Wedding Shop for you. Wedding designer Serafina East is in her cosy Cornish studio designing exquisite dresses to make even the most demanding bride's dreams come true. Unless the bride is her big sister Alice, of course. Saying that 2 sisters don't always see eye to eye is an understatement. Alice hasn't even asked Sarah to design her wedding dress. With not only 1 but 2 gorgeous best men to keep under control, an absent groom and a disaster wedding dress threatening to ruin Alice's happiness, let alone her big day, Sarah's determined not to end up the maid of dishonour. Then we have Angels at Christmas, which is made up of 2 short stories. The first short story is called Those Christmas Angels. Anne Fletcher sends a heartfelt plea in the hope that someone is looking down on her this Christmas. One wish, for her son to be happy. She doesn't expect to have her prayer answered by 3 mischievous angels. They're about to do a little matchmaking on Anne's behalf and make her Christmas wish come true. Then the second short story is called Where Angels Go. The angels are on hand again for lovely Beth Fisher, who since her divorce is looking for romance once more. At 86, Harry has prayed for peace of mind and little Carter Jackson has just one Christmas wish. Angels Shirley, Goodness and Mercy will make Christmas miracles happen this Christmas. Then we have Last Christmas. Catherine Tinsall is dreading Christmas. As the happy homemaker, she is an online sensation, but the reality couldn't be more different. With her marriage in tatters, her children running wild and her mother's forgetfulness, seasonal cheer is running low. Husband Noel also hides a secret. He's facing the axe at work, until he chances upon the Village of Hope Christmas, which could be the second chance he's been searching for, if he can save it from the developers. In Hope Christmas itself, Mary Ann Moore is trying to heal her battered heart, but memories of what she's lost haunt her at every turn. Meanwhile, Gabriel North faces a lonely Christmas. Will his wife ever come home? Or does love lie elsewhere? All 4 need a Christmas miracle, and it might just happen, courtesy of a mysterious guardian angel. Forced to reassess their lives, will they all discover what the meaning of Christmas really is? I think all of these books sound really interesting. The last 2 are definitely very different to anything I would normally pick up and read. I'm especially excited to read the Christmas at the Little Wedding Shop book, so that will definitely be the first one out of these 3 that I read, but I'm looking forward to trying all of them. Typical, my camera batteries just died before I start talking about the last book, so I've just had to change them, so sorry if the camera angles changed slightly. So the final book that I want to talk to you about is I Heart Forever by Lindsay Kelp, and I don't actually know how much of this book is set at Christmas time, but it does mention Christmas on the back, so I've included it anyway. The day her husband Alex picks up a backpack and goes travelling, Angela Clark promises to stay out of trouble and keep both Louboutins on the ground. So when her best friend's boyfriend confides in her, it can't hurt to help him pick out a ring at Tiffany's, surely. And when her fashion magazine announces major changes, being terminally late and arguing with your new boss isn't that bad, is it? Then suddenly there's another big secret Angela's got to keep, and the man she loves is still thousands of miles away. As the wedding of the year looms and Manhattan switches on its Christmas lights, Angela is going to need her friends by her side as her old life looks set to change forever. So like I said, it mentions Christmas lights. I don't know how much of it is actually set or based around Christmas, but it's still set in New York and I'm going to read this anyway. So those were all of my Christmas reads. Do let me know in the comment section below if you have ever read any of these books and what you thought of them, or if you have any other recommendations for Christmas books, then leave them in the comment section too. I probably won't buy any more Christmas books this year because I already have quite a few that I haven't read, plus I want to reread some, but do leave me suggestions for next year because I'll definitely want to buy more then. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week with another Christmas video. Bye!